Hi everyone, it's Andre here. We talked about males' health a couple of days ago. Today we're going to talk about women's issue, especially private issues. Women issues they don't want to ask for help or they're afraid to ask for help. Um, so in Chinese medicine, I find it much easier to categorize into cold damp and damp heat. So cold damp meaning there is cold and damp. So damp being too humid, too much water, and cold is just lack of heat, right? Damp heat is the opposite. So there's lots of water and there's also a lot of heat involved. So in this cold damp column, you can kind of ignore this damp part because it's quite common with just the cold issue, and the dampness can come from just the cold itself. So let's go through these symptoms, issues. For cold damp women, they might get clear, frequent, and profuse urine or vaginal discharge. For frequent, profuse means a lot. So frequent, clear, and it'll be clear, kind of like water. There's no color, and you might have frequent urination. You have to go quite often, maybe every hour or less than an hour. A profuse amount of being like more than regular person. So same thing with vaginal discharge. It's often clear and there's like a more amount. So I know some women that they are quite proud of themselves. They're being have a lot of vaginal discharge. I wouldn't say discharge. It's more like during sexual intercourse, there's a lot of fluid, and it's never lack of fluid. They are very proud of never being lack of fluids. But that's it. When it's too much, there's also means there's something wrong with your body as well. In Chinese medicine, we are seeking a happy medium. You don't want to be too much or too little. So that can be an issue too. And urinary incontinence, I know a lot of women after giving birth, they will start to notice they have this issue, whether it doesn't have to be very serious. It might be a couple drops of leakage when you're coughing or when you're laughing too hard when you're jumping up and down on a trampoline or something like that. Or it can happen when you thought you finished peeing and you pull up your pants and then you realize, oh my God, there's two drops that just came out. So that can be this issue is like in Western medicine, they probably don't have much treatment methods for this, except maybe surgeries. They tried. I don't know what they do. I think most of the time surgery is the only option. But in Chinese medicine, this is something that can be treated effectively with acupuncture or with herbal medicine, or to some extent you might not. If it's very serious, then we might not be able to stop it completely, but at least you'll get some get some benefits and reduce those symptoms or reduce the amount of leakage that's happening, or reduce the frequency that happens. Next thing is low sex drive. I want to group that together with difficult orgasm. So sex drives and orgasm, they're they're heavily relying on your lower abdomen having enough temperature. So being cold in the lower abdomen or in the private region or around your genitalia, meaning that there is a very low amount of blood supplies. So when you don't have enough supplies, it's going to be very difficult to have an orgasm, and it might lead to a low sex drive either because of a difficult orgasm or simply because they're not interested. And the next thing is lower body being heavy or sweaty. In the ancient Chinese text, it describes as because the ancient time, all the monies are actually coins, and there's a hole in each coin, and ancient Chinese kind of put a rope or a string along those coins and to kind of string it all together and put it on their waist. So they said that your lower body feels heavy, like you're carrying multiple strings of money or the coins. So it's kind of like that. Your lower body feels heavy when there is damp. There is too much water, and too much water will cause the body part being very heavy. Sometimes it can be on the head too. Your head is very heavy, or shoulder being very heavy. You can probably relate that to this dampness. And the last thing is cold limbs or a lower abdomen. So being cold, like I said, the cold is mostly majority in lower abdomen, or it can manifest in your limbs. I know some women who have cold limbs their whole life. Their hands and feet were never warm in their entire life, and they think it's normal, or they just learn to deal with it. And this is something that the Chinese medicine can help you to warm up, to improve the circulation, or to improve the blood flow into your limbs, into your lower abdomen, and to treat this as well, cold damp. And in next episode, I'm going to talk to you about what you can do at home to help you with cold damp or damp heat. But this episode, that's only talk about the health issues, so you can kind of self-diagnose yourself and put yourself into which team, cold damp or damp heat. Or in some complicated case, they can have combination of both. And I think that's the time when you need to go see an acupuncturist or a TCM doctor to help to have him or her to help you figure out and help you get back to your health and get rid of all these stuff. Now, damp heat, like I said, it's very hot and humid. You can think of it like that. Your body being very hot and humid, so your urine can be more yellow. Normally, your urine color should be like a light yellow, almost like very, very light, very, very, very light beer, I would say, or a very extremely light green tea. If you're finding yourself urine being more yellow, like a normal beer, then it's probably because of this, or in some sort of infection, because the infection is usually related to heat as well. And when there's heat, the odor will increase, and you might notice like a strong odor from the urine. And urinary tract infections is quite often from the damp heat. I know I've heard women who had sexual intercourse with their partners, and every time after the sex, they would get symptoms of the UTI for a couple of days or a week, until next time they have sex again and it happens again. So this can be treated, and it's not like something If you find yourself, if you find taking antibiotics is not helping your UTI, then come see the acupuncturist or a TCM doctor. We can help you with that, because UTI is not always damp heat. It's not always heat. Sometimes it can happen with cold as well. Antibiotics works very well with heat or damp heat, anything related to heat. But if it's cold or cold damp, antibiotics won't do much for your infection. So because of damp heat, the vaginal discharge is going to be more yellow and be more sticky. It can have the fishy smell as well. So maybe your partner is complaining about you during sex, and this is probably because there's too much heat in your body or too much heat in your lower body. Now, if you find a way to clear this heat, then this issue will reduce or it can be resolved. Next thing is sweaty privates, because your body, especially your lower body, is very humid, very hot and humid. So it can result in excessive sweating, especially in the crotch area. Or it can manifest in your whole body. Like your whole body is sweats very easily, and it's kind of like a sticky type of sweat, and it has very strong odor. So these things come from damp heat. So next episode, we're going to talk about what you can do at home to help yourself, and as well as when you should go see a professional help. That's it for today, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.